Welcome back to The Watch. And before we get started in the videos, I'm feeling a bit thirsty. I think I need a taste of a sweet, sweet Pepsi. It's very refreshing. Have you ever drunk Pepsi?
Was it Pepsi Max or regular Pepsi?
Pepsi Max.
Oh, Pepsi Max!
Tastes like
Max flavor!
I'm thirsty too, but I'm thirsty for something more like a Coke.
A Coke?
Basically heaven in a can.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got another thing in the can. It's called a Pringles. It's a bunch of delicious chips. They taste good.
Well, we can eat and drink at the same time.
That's amazing.
Cheers.
This is just like how something related that we're talking about is. All right, we're talking about product placement here. Well, kind of yes or no. Nathan, fill us in.
Well, there was recently a meme, I guess, it now has merged because recently, in the early 2000s, Star Wars premiered on some Chilean chili.
I think it was Indian.
It was Chile. It was
it Chile?
Brazil,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
Spanish or some sort. And they didn't want to break for ads, so a beer company who was basically sponsoring the movie very creatively inserted it into the film.
Into the film. So there's a really, I saw one of the clips. It's when Obi-Wan Kenobi is trying to shut down the tractor beam,
Yep.
and is on the thing walking around, and you know where then it has the shot of him pulling the lever.
Yeah.
That shot instead is in opening like a mini fridge, and there's a beer there.
Yeah. There's that one. There's one of when Obi-Wan's talking to Luke about, your father would want this when you're old enough. And he goes and opens and grabs it a beer. And it's so good. The other one, I think there's two more. There's one when they're on the Falcon with Solo and it just looks like Kenobi has a beer problem because he brings it out of his sleeve and just like cracks a cold one. And the last one is with Palpatine. I think in Revenge of...
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, and he like uses the Force to pick it up, and it like shows it. So like they're funny because they're old, but it's also very out of place. It's
They're
very creative,
so artistic. That's why I like them. They match the lighting. They match the actors'
yeah, because there's one
hands
when they're
and
on
costume.
Dagobah, and he goes up to the tree and grabs it from the tree, and like they match it so perfectly.
Here is the thing, right? Like you're saying, with the reemergence of these clips, people will be saying, "Oh no, this might, like Amazon might pick up on this and decide to do the same thing."
Yes.
Well, it's the whole meme. Silence brand, because the brands pick up on these memes and they start to engage in it, and then people are cringe. It's like, I don't want.
There's a few sides to it. So in terms of the actual meme now, it's getting a bit tiresome. Like I've recently saw Assassin's Creed did one as well, so they started to incorporate that into their stuff. IGN did like a Zelda one. So like now the brands are getting onto it, so it's no longer cool anymore. Everyone's like, all right.
I'm of two minds now, because the first reaction is, they've been doing this for years already.
Yes.
The reason why I did the whole thing is like Madam Web was just a 2-hour Pepsi commercial.
Yes.
It was spammed everywhere. And I'll give you other examples. And so I'm like, they do it anyway. Yet the other side is that, oh no, they might actually want to now make it more obviously an ad because it'll be a meme then. And then
Yes. Well, we've seen this a lot in, for example, Shazam had the Skittles. They even had the
Taste the rainbow as a line in the film. It was so bad.
I'll be honest with you, Shad. I'm okay with a little bit of product placement. Madam Web, sure. Pepsi is just in that area of town. Taste the rainbow, like if it pays for someone's allowance or whatever, that's fine. I'm even okay. Like I watch K-dramas a lot, and you can always tell who's sponsoring that K-drama from the cars they drive and the phones that they use or the beer that they drink. Yeah. It's also funny in like, what was it, Wayne's World, when they're like Pizza Hut,
where they actually that was a joke because
that's funny. What isn't funny is when I'm watching Stranger Things and then 11 goes to pick up a drink and then it's a Pringles can and you get this for like 15 seconds zooming in on the screen. Like there's an element of it's in the world and then this is an ad inside my entertainment.
Yes, and I'm like, because the reality is these products, these brands do exist in the real world and people do talk about them in the real world. And
I sing random jingles throughout the day. The burger's better at Hungry Jack's, man.
Well, see, that's true.
Exactly.
That is true. Hungry Jack's is our Burger King, and our Hungry Jack's is better than the American Burger King.
Yes, this is true.
It's actually
Aussie.
Yeah.
See, so like we just talked about that in real life.
And that was I wasn't product placement. That was just
this video is not sponsored in any way by anyone.
You know what I think would balance it out, and they wouldn't have the balls to do it, right? Is if people also talk about it in the negative. Like McDonald's is just friggin' plastic crap that I can't like with very few bits of okay, the McChicken burger's all right. But other than that, right, and Coke and Pepsi piss in a bottle.
Did you say Coke?
Yes.
I like Coke, Shad. It is a great, refreshing drink.
He likes
throughout my
frozen
hard
Coke from
day.
McDonald's.
So maybe it'd be more realistic if they actually had some people crapping on brands, but the thing is they'll never do that because the brand will never sponsor them in the future.
Yes.
But it gets pretty bad sometimes. Some of the worst product placement I've ever seen is actually in the TV series Bones. Have you ever watched Bones, guys?
No.
So they got sponsored by cars. And so they'd be in the car and they're like, hey, Bones, is this a new car? Yeah, it's a new car. It even has like parking assist and sensor lights. And literally, they get into like a 30-second to a minute monologue of the quality of the car. And it's
Have you seen the guy who green screens himself into the car commercials?
No.
How they like do the fake like reveal to people, and it was like, oh my, this car is so amazing. The guy's saying like, what are you talking about? This is terrible. It's very funny.
See, I think I figured out my line. My line, I'm okay with things like Madam Web and it being in the world. What I'm not okay with is like the Truman Show level of when
really? See, Madam Web was too much for me.
but they don't talk about it. They're not like, this is Pepsi. Like, the movie can still be there.
It's like, but when it's so overtly, make sure that it's not facing the thing.
Yes.
And the villain was killed by a Pepsi logo, Nathan.
By an S or a
No,
P.
It was a P. It had to be the P because it was the Pepsi.
Or Peter Parker. Yeah. Either.
But it was from the Pepsi side.
I know.
Again, I think it's okay to be using these things in a TV media setting. It's when you take like the world experience out of it and it turns it into an ad.
Yes,
like in the Star Wars where it's like they literally cut away and then you get the logo zoom in with the theme song playing. Like it's funny, but if that's every single TV show I watch, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. There's a line where it gets too much, and to me, when it's too obvious, that's where I'm like.
And even then, they only had like 3 ads in the entire film.
But let me ask you this: would you? This is where I'm kind of mixed on it because, like, would you prefer for the entire show to stop, start an ad, have a little bit of an ad break, and then get back to the show, or just have it like quickly integrated in a very amusing way?
If it takes me out of the film, they've done that anyway, and so I was like, fine, just throw a normal ad in. Right. You don't want to like. Film is supposed to be escapism. It's supposed to be absorbed in or anything like that. And so when I see a product mentioned by the characters, it needs to be like it actually would exist in the real world, like because it comes up with relevance, not forcefully injected in like Skittles. Taste the rainbow.
And see, that's the thing. I feel like there is a element of creativity the original ads have, which I would be on board with doing.
Not just those ads, though. They're actual ads.
They're actual ads. If you haven't seen them, you should watch them too. They are real beer
They
ads.
are beauty. They are artistry. They are fantastic.
They are beer marketing at its finest.
You need like a Jedi woman walking in with like huge.
Well,
like,
Shad, you're not far off.
Here's a drink, Obi-Wan.
I think you would really like them.
We'll show you the ads after this video. They're pretty good. But what my concern is the current businesses and practices they have now in terms of like Amazon, Disney, Netflix. If they did that, it would not be 3 or 4 times in a TV show. It would be like every 30 seconds. It would be countless products.
That's
like
the
it
thing.
would.
You know why Lord of the Rings is great for a lot of reasons. But I'd also say one. Guess what? There's no product placement in it.
Yeah.
Nowhere. It's a fantasy world. Studios have a lot of trouble with putting product placement into either sci-fi or fantasy, and so when they get a film that they can, sometimes they overload it. Like, did you see some of the ones in the Transformers film? Like, there's one moment where like a beer truck gets hit, right, and they spread everywhere, and the guy actually picks it up, cracks it open, and I was watching the CinemaSin things like, this is proof that Michael Bay is a whore doing tricks or something like that. It's just like they spewed, and then there's so much product. There's even a close up in one of the Transformers films where one of the guys is just drinking tea, and it's like this slow pan up, and it's just starting to get the body.
Exactly. See, that's where I'm like a little iffy because, for example, James Bond, you have the
cars were always
the cars.
sponsored.
He's usually drinking Heineken, the most recent ones. It's like that's a product placement, and wearing I think it's Omega watches as well.
Yep.
Like they're these product deals which make a lot of money, obviously.
Usually they're not too bad. There's only one of the Bond ones that was so bad, where she's like, is that a Rolex? And he's like, Omega. And she's like, nice. I'm like, oh, no. That one's rough.
Like, have you guys ever had an experience like that, though, where someone asked you in real life what brand or something like that? I don't think I have. Someone say, nice watch.
Maybe.
And I was like, thanks. But I didn't know. I don't even know the brand except for our recent sponsor.
Nathan's wearing one of them.
Valamore!
This is real though. I mean, Valamore actually is quality watches that we do wear and love, and they are literally sponsoring us.
But not this video, right?
Not this video.
Yeah.
But I'll show
We'll give them a freebie one.
This is a freebie.
I give them one every video I'm in, so
We'll put the link in the description anyway. But that was quite natural. Nathan's been wearing the whole time. Did any of you guys notice it though? I don't know.
It's just a good watch. Like again, this is where it's
All right,
like
enough of the
it's
freebie
like-
now. Okay.
Where are the other watches? We should show them.
Why I want to bring this up is because I think I trust those beer commercials to be good because of the marketing. They've proven themselves to not be too common, like they happen very infrequently, and they're also funny, and the integration is very creative. My concern is, are bigger companies now going to go, oh, people like ads in their TV shows and movies? Let's do that. And also, let's overdo it because, it's funny for the memes. Like, imagine there's like ones that made up for Dune that they did. I reckon if they did that, that would ruin the movie completely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it would. And so this is the polar opposite end, right? I've also known people in the real world that have been obsessed with certain products or brands. They're like a walking advertisement of it. Like literally, I've known people who've they drink nothing but this slop. And I'm only saying it's slop because I don't want it to seem like we're getting sponsored by it. Where I drank Pepsi Max. I don't drink cola drinks now because they made me pee too much. But anyway,
I mean,
did you know cola is actually a diuretic?
Great.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was going to say, like, the only thing that you can trust to not have, like, ads like this is a good old-fashioned book. Oh, wait, I've got the Coke here. Well, why don't I talk about the Coke?
I was reaching for the book, but I accidentally got
the
this
Coke,
sweet,
so now we're just
going to
talk about
of
this.
Coca-Cola. But no, like I've known people like obsessed with KFC, and they'll talk about it all the time. And so, so those people do exist.
What do you think, Nathan? What do you think about that?
KFC's delicious. I love the smell. I know it's not good for me, but dang, just those 5 minutes while eating it, it's just a wonderful experience. But no, like for me, for example, it's Apple. Apple users are like, oh, do you have an Android? Oh, Apple is superior, actually. And I don't mean you, Tyrants, because I know you do this to me, but it's more my in-laws who are like...
I do it as a joke.
So yeah, there are people who swear by certain products. Like I personally think Toyota's a good car company because I swear by their cars. Like, and then we're getting a difference into being a walking advert for someone and being like, this is a good product.
Yes.
Because people like that exist in the real world. And I was wondering, would that throw me out if they had a character with, sometimes it is obsession, but they just, I like Hungry Jack's, okay? And I'll mention it, that Hungry Jack's is just better than KFC. And I wonder if that's the key. Is that the balance, right? Is like, you just can't have a character that's, this brand. What's also quite realistic about these type of people is that they crap on the competitor brand all the time. And if they did that, then I could probably accept, okay, that's more realistic. I'll let you pass. But I don't think they'll do that because one of the things we rarely ever see is people crapping on products and brands because they want to get sponsored by them in the future.
Exactly.
We do that, though.
We do that.
There's been multiple videos in like the last couple of weeks of people who have like sponsored stuff, and we're kind of being like, it's all right. Like, what was yesterday's video? The spear video. I opened it up with like, yeah, I got some thoughts on this. I'm not really feeling it. That's the first words out of my mouth.
Well, yeah, because we're honest. We're
going to be honest with you guys. And I do think that we get asked more than the average person for brands just because of what we do. Like, people are like, what sword
we're
should
in
I
a
buy?
niche. And
Yeah.
And look, a lot of the sword manufacturers know that, it's a risk.
Yeah.
Because it's not actually sponsored. They're just sending the product for review. And so if it's crap...
And there's only a couple of swords that will kind of go like, yeah, like if this is what you're looking for.
What was that blue one that just really underperformed and bent?
The blue one.
Would you remember who it was by?
I can't remember who it was by.
Empire? Was it?
I don't think it was Empire. Maybe it was Empire Katana.
I can't remember.
But that one was not worth that kind of money.
And so when we get a product that's,
and it's the same thing when we got the S5 one. We're like, hey, this is fantastic.
better than what we thought.
Yeah.
We haven't had any drink things. Actually, I've had one. It was a Magic Spoon. And then
The cereal, yeah.
cereal, and then so HelloFresh was legitimate. That was legitimate, and Magic Spoon was interesting. Where some were good, and it's like okay, but the thing is, my kids ate it, so that was actually a big.
We do get sent not sponsored stuff that like people just want to send us, and I think the logic is like maybe if they like it, they'll talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now because there's been one product that we've gotten that we never did
exactly
a video
what
on.
you're talking about.
We're not sponsored by, but me and Nathan just enjoy it, and that is candles.
Scented candles.
We got
Who
sent-
would have thought, right?
Well, because we got sent it, and we're like, why have we got scented candle? And they're like, is it sponsorship? And like, no. We're like,
And now you've mentioned it, we need to say the brand. What's the brand today?
I don't know. I think we threw them all out, didn't we?
we finished them all.
Do we not have one? I thought.
We finished them all.
Yeah, they're probably like, we were this close.
It almost worked.
Send us more. We might do it.
Well, it was legit because we're like, what do we want candles for? We're men.
Exactly, that was my reaction. It's like, scented candles, what is this?
And they were like D&D candles. You know, it was like a cottage smell or a dungeon.
monk walking on a road. Type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
weird
like a
things like
haunted forest or magical forest one, and it smelled like pine needles.
Yeah, it was like it's just a regular thing from the convenience store that you could get, but
they were
With
right.
the
They
fantasy.
were right. Yeah.
All right, now we need look in there. Okay, whoever's editing this, we should at least put their thing in.
figure
And
it
like, they'll be like, yes, it worked.
this is going to have the most product placement we've ever had.
Valamore, candles, the Hungry Jacks.
Those two are ones we can be like, you know what? Yeah, that's not bad. Not
Because
bad.
that is the actual reality. There are products, brands, and stuff that people do. I like, and I'm happy to promote because it's like, hey, it's good food. It's so much better than friggin' McDonald's.
And then on the flip side, there are products that perform badly, and we say as much.
Yeah, and that's the truth because that's what they're missing. They're missing the fact that people crap on things they don't like all the time.
Yeah.
That's how they'll make it work. But they won't because
Well, it's just funny because products are so controlling of it, obviously, because they're paying those movies and TV shows to do it. Like things like Apple doesn't allow any villain to own one of their devices. So when you watch a Marvel movie, you know who's a good guy and who's a bad guy by the end because of what they're using. So there's never any betrayal, acknowledgement you don't know about because, the good guys all use iPhones.
I would find it refreshing a movie where they literally there's no paid sponsorships and everyone every time a brand comes up, the only comment on it is why it's crap. And people different characters like, why are you drinking that friggin' tar for liquid Coke crap?
Are you talking about My Heaven in a Can, Shad?
I didn't know you were that much of a fan of Coke.
I like Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
I prefer Mountain Dew.
I know you do.
I drink it like water.
I prefer Bundaberg. That's the Chad one.
Yeah.
I swear we're not trying to sell you guys. We're really not.
But if they want to reach out to sponsor us, it would...
Bundaberg.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically kind of all for this episode. Like, these ads are very funny, the original ones, and we're going to show you the extra ones.
But we don't want them in our movies and the brands.
Just give us ad breaks. Or no ads at all, thank you.
Like, I'm okay with the concept of ads. It's an economy. Like, you're getting something for free. The payment is you watch an ad. I get all of that.
And
I'm
even
okay
then,
with that.
If free-to-air TV did ads like this, I would watch more free-to-air TV because it's
integrated.
also
But
integrated.
the thing is, they do both.
Yes.
The TV shows have the ads in there, and then then there's the ads anyway. And look, YouTube is the same thing. We get sponsorships. It's essentially an ad in the content, and then there is the ads before the content plays.
I think the biggest thing that big companies need to realize with this meme is that we're laughing at the fact that this was done in the 2000s.
Yes.
Don't take it as seriously.
Don't do it.
Don't incorporate it at all, please.
And the only reason why I think people enjoy it so much is because it's so... It's there's an artistry to these ads where we're like, this is funny. This is a funny moment. To put
And it's
this.
also beer and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And watching Obi-Wan Kenobi take out a beer while on the Falcon it makes him look like an alcoholic, and it's great.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. And as always, stay on watch.